Good evening, and welcome to the Garnet Fire informational meeting for Friday, September 19th. My name is Joe Menton, Public Information Officer for California Interagency Incident Management Team 5, and I will be your facilitator this evening. Tonight, you will be hearing from our Incident Command Team, our partners, and forest staff. After the formal presentation, we will address the questions that you submitted earlier by email. The Garnet Fire sits at 59,844 acres. 97% containment, and 1,411 personnel. First up will be our Operations Section Chief, Chad Costa.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. So, as you well know, the Mother Nature did its thing last night and throughout today. So, for yesterday's shift, the crews came in a little bit early. Had a good day, but had to come in a little bit early due to the rain. For today, we sent out all of our supervisors and our leadership onto the line to evaluate the fire's perimeter for access and the feasibility of us to be able to work on the incident. What we found when we got out there was muddy roads, as you would expect, but we didn't find any trees across the road or any mudslides. So we were able to do some fire suppression, some mop up on the north side of the fire, and on the roads that were paved or hard packed. Unfortunately, the rain did slow down our ability to work on suppression repair today. Many of the hand lines and the dozer lines were just too muddy for us to put the heavy equipment on. So although we did get some work out there today, we definitely were delayed on our suppression efforts. Our plan is tomorrow we feel like it'll dry out enough to get going again. That may start a little bit later than normal, but we plan to have a full shift tomorrow to continue on our suppression repair, working from the south towards the north, and to continue to mop up around that northern end, Dinky Creek Road to McKinley Grove Road area. End of report.
Thank you, Chief. Next, we have Incident Meteorologist Dave Munyon.
Hello, everyone. As Chad referenced, we did see a fair amount of rain fall over the last couple of days, and I'll talk about how much rain fell and where it actually came from. So a lot of the rain that occurred over the fire in our area this morning and last night was actually sourced from what once was Tropical Storm Mario out in the tropical Pacific that had since moved up. Now, that really rich in moisture air mass gave a fair amount of rainfall to our area and our fire. Across a large portion of the fire, we saw rainfall amounts in about a 1 inch, maybe even closer to an inch and a half. Now, we did run the numbers with about 50, and I know the fire is 60,000, but to make it a little easier, we ran the numbers with 50,000 acres. So if you average an inch and a half of rain over our fire, that equates to about over 1 million Type 1 helicopter worth drops of water. So all of that rain that fell, over 1 million helicopter drops. That's pretty significant. There's no better way to fight fires than Mother Nature giving us some rainfall. Of course, there may have been some impacts to operations, but the rain will definitely help, especially because it fell over such a long duration. All of that rain has since moved out, and we will slowly begin the drying out process, and we'll warm up a little bit. We've got forecast up over here. Temperatures will warm up over the next couple of days, but all that rain that fell this morning will really slow down how much we warm up through the weekend, and we'll see that humidity lingering because the ground is so saturated. Humidity will take a little bit to fall over the next couple of days, but before that can really happen, we're actually eyeing up a next weather system that could impact our area come Tuesday into Wednesday. We're still trying to work out some of those details on exactly what we might get out of that storm, and it's a bit tricky, but there could be another shot of rain Tuesday night into Wednesday. Other than that, have a great night. End of report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Next, we have our lead resource advisor, Matt Nurmahadian.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am the incoming lead resource advisor. I have a team of about 20 resource advisors and archaeologists, and at this stage in the fire, we are shifting to near 100% suppression repair. So what suppression repair is mitigating the effects of damages from firefighting operations. So it could be restoring dozer lines, and we're going to restore damages from suppression in different ways. Some of them will be strategic fuel breaks, like in the Dinky Creek Bald Mountain area. we'll repair those so they can be used later on. Others will pull vegetation over to mitigate the effects of erosion. Also, trails that have been hit by dozers or hand lines will be rehabbed back to their pre-existing condition as best as possible. Basically, we work for the forest supervisor to restore conditions in a way to turn the forest back over to the local unit so we can get the forest to recover and open again for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Matt. Next, we have Fresno County Sheriff Lieutenant Hamilton.
Good evening. I want to speak to some changes that we have to our evacuation map. So K27, we split this zone into two zones. K27A is the northern area, was put into a warning. And K27B, which pretty much parallels McKinley Grove Road, remains in an order. There's still a lot of work being done up in this area, so we are escorting people through this zone and doing damage inspection in this area as well. So keep in mind that there still is a forest order in effect, and I'll let the forest supervisors speak more to that. But please follow us on social media, and we'll put out updates to any changes that we have to our zones as soon as we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Hamilton. Next, we have your forest supervisor from the Sierra National Forest, Dean Gould.
Hello and good evening, everybody. Thank you again for joining us. Really appreciate you dedicating your time to spend with us this evening. Your time's important, it's valuable, and choosing to spend it with us is greatly appreciated. I've got a handful of things I want to share with you as we get to a pretty critical stage of the incident here, and just take a little bit of a look back and look forward. But I do want to start off with this, and that is the closure order that has changed here as of this morning. So, to my left, you can see what the previous closure perimeter was. You can see the fire footprint, and you can see the black line that indicates the temporary forest closure order that was in place up until midnight last night. As of midnight last night and going forward, you can see the tremendously reduced partial forest closure footprint and what that means. We've shaved off quite literally every corner we could here, a tremendous amount off the top, off the west, to facilitate everyone's access to this forest as quickly as we can. I made this pledge to you at the beginning of the incident, and I'm keeping that. And that is as quickly as we were able to open things back up in coordination with the sheriff's office and of course the incident management team, making sure that it's safe for folks to go in there, we're going to take that temporary closure off, and that's what I've done. For the folks that still need access to different places, in particular like Courtright, we're facilitating that. The district is working very, very hard with those 7,700 forms. We've been working really hard with PG&E, getting the folks into Helms that need to be. We are absolutely there with you, and you're our partner for the long haul, and we're going to make sure we do our part to help you get what you need as well. As far as the revised perimeter here for the hunting season that's upon us now, that should make a pretty distinct difference, much greater access, and so win-win all the way around. So hopefully folks will come out and enjoy their forest. A few other things I want to touch on real quick. Even though the fire has been going on since the 24th of August, the preparation for this has been going on for a long time. And we only have a few minutes here, so I'll just give you a portion of it. But I want to make sure that folks really understand the magnitude of what we're trying to accomplish on this forest and just how much work really has been done. So I'm just going to highlight the roads here real quickly this evening. 2345. So, really post the real heavy storm that we had the creek fire, then we had real heavy storm, a couple of years later. And so from 23, 4, and 5, here's some numbers as far as what we've done on this forest regarding roads. $66 million in road work has been done during these 3 years. Of those $66 million, $20 million of that is directly related to the fire footprint. Made a big difference there. The number of miles that have been improved over the past 3 years, 1,037 miles forest-wide have been improved over the past 3 years. 441 of those miles were directly contributing to the incident response. And so all those things make a huge difference with the thousands of trips that were performed by the incident responders here on those roads that are now vastly improved, made a huge difference. 10S69, 10S24, 10S02, 12S01, Providence Creek Road, and on and on. You recognize all those. Those are major roads that really played a key role in this incident. Also, we improved 3 helipspots on the forest, Batterson, Trimmer, and Dinky. Those were done last year as well. So a lot of things year after year, where we have the funding, where we have the capacity, we are leaning forward as fast and far as we can to get improvements in on the forest. Let's see. I think it was mentioned the other night at Shaver about the first 72 hours. There seemed to be some conflict on that. Our Chief 2, Joaquin Marquez, he did a fantastic job of itemizing what happened there, so that should put that to rest, I'd like to think. Let's see. The personnel assigned to this incident, you know that it was well over 3,200 at its peak. Something else I want to just bring to your attention that you may not appreciate, those personnel came from half the states in this country. 25 states provided personnel to this incident. So when folks may think or be a little bit frustrated, why didn't you just call so-and-so? You know, there's all these resources right here. To fight this fire, it took personnel, 3,200 personnel from 25 states, half the country. So just, keep that in mind. And not the least of which is the New York team that's going to be relieving Team 5 here in just a couple days. And then lastly, just want to say what guides us through all this, what we not just state or what we put in writing, what the firefighters out here really live by, they truly do. Those wildland firefighter core values: duty, respect, and integrity. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Supervisor Gould. Next, we have our Deputy Incident Commander, Alex Macbeth.
Good evening, everybody. Good to see you again. I'm going to keep this short tonight because, as you can tell, we've had great progress over the last 3 or 4 days. I want to commend the team. The team is not only our incident management team, but the Fresno County Sheriff, the local power companies, the tribal representatives, and the local Sierra Forest and all their resource advisors for helping us manage this incident. This has been a great feat. We've made a lot of we've passed on a lot of information to you, the public, and you're the ones that are also on the team that have helped us through us by getting us the information that we need to get out to the public. That's very helpful. As we move forward for the next couple of days, we're definitely doing suppression repair. The fire activity has reduced to a point where we're just going to see smoking logs out there, but it is going to heat up after this. We expect that, but we're going to tackle it. We have a lot of work still left to do, especially on a lot of these contingency lines, along a lot of the suppression lines. And so you're still going to see those firefighters going in and out of your communities every day. With that, we'll talk to you again, and have a good evening.
Thank you, Chief, for that information. Well, that concludes the formal presentation of this meeting tonight. Now we're going to get into the question and answers period. We're going to answer the questions that you submitted earlier by email. First up will be our meteorologist, Dave Munyon.
All right, everyone, hello. So the question we got here, we observe that containment percent is increasing, yay, But the smoke situation in the surrounding areas, including Shaver, Lake Shore, and Huntington Lake, remains anywhere from moderate to hazardous. What may be done to reduce the smoke over the upcoming days and weeks so that folks can return to enjoy the fall in our Sierra National Forest? And is there anything that we can do to help? So, I'm a meteorologist first and foremost. I don't really focus too much on air quality, but what I can say is that the rain that we saw last night and this morning will go a long way to both maybe clear some of the smoke out of the air and then also dampen down some of those smaller smoldering areas. But we will likely continue to see some areas of smoldering and smoke and really until snow starts to fall. So, especially when the temperatures heat up after this rain all moved out and humidity will fall again, areas of smoke will continue. We also saw a fair amount of wind, at least in the upper levels of our atmosphere. When that tropical disturbance moved through, we actually finally got some moving air. It's been kind of stagnant over the last several days, so some of that moving air has also helped to filter smoke out. We haven't gotten a good look from satellite because of all the cloud cover we've been seeing today, so we haven't been able to see exactly how much smoke there is right now, and we had some of the sensors get removed as well, so we can't monitor that directly. So ultimately, it's just the real answer is it's kind of up to the weather and what Mother Nature is going to hand us as far as, how quickly will the fire be able to, some of those interior fires be able to get put out. Generally, we'll have to wait until snowfall for that. And then how much moving air can keep some of that smoke kind of freely dispersed throughout. Hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. The next individual coming up, Lieutenant Hamilton.
So I have two questions. The questions are very closely related, so I think I could answer them both at the same time. The first one is, when will landowners be able to go into K27A? And the second one is, given the precedents established during the Creek Fire to repopulate residents before removing evacuation orders and opening roads, can the families who reside in Helms Camp expect that the Sheriff's Office will allow us to go home soon? So the answer to both of those is yes, and we're actually currently doing that process is happening right now. So there is a process, though. What they'll need to do is contact the district ranger. The number is listed on our website. I'm sure the Forest Service has listed as well, but I'll give the number. It's 559-855-5355, and they could request that 7700 form. And we have to facilitate the safe transportation along McKinley Grove Road. So that's the process to get the homeowners back into K27A. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Hamilton. Well, those are all the questions we have for tonight. Our next virtual meeting will be held on Sunday, September 21st at 5:30. Thank you for joining us. Good night.